Oh, so it's all about design. Do you know design could make or break the brand that you have? In tonight's episode, we are all going to be talking all about brand design and how it could impact your beauty brand. So you know what I will say? Less talking and more doing. Let's start the show. Hello and good evening, Facebook, Insta, social media world. Jamila Bannister here, brand strategist for beauty brands, and welcome to this week's episode of The Lipstick Effect. I'm glad to have you back. I know last week, my internet service provider tried to take me down, but they will never keep me down. I am back here this week, and I'm very excited to talk about this week's topic. So I want to shout out all the people who are viewing right now and to wish you a happy early Valentine's because I think I will see you after Valentine's Day has gone next week. So I hope your Valentine's is full of love and you get something nice in the self-care space to take care of yourself, whether it's candles, whether it's fragrance. Because I know this is a time for cosmetics to be bought. I know, both for men and for women. So take care of yourselves and get something nice for yourself. Okay, all right. So as usual, in tonight's episode, I'm going to start off with a bit of news from around the world. So this week I was reading Harper's Bazaar and I saw that Sephora, lots of people's favorite retailer. I know lots of people in Trinidad and Tobago and in the Caribbean shop on Sephora, whether they shop on Sephora when they travel or they shop right here sitting in their homes. They love to buy stuff from Sephora. So I saw that Sephora is actually entering the sexual wellness category. Yes, so they are going to be carrying brands, two brands actually. I think one is from Mod and the other one, according to my notes here, is Dame Products. And they are going to be getting into what they call the intimate care zone, where they will be selling stuff like, lubricant, and they will be selling things like candles and vibrators and that kind of thing. So I don't know, it's just in time for Valentine's Day. So if that is your jam, you could definitely check Sephora for that. It is, it's a beauty place that lots of people love to love. So if that's your jam, you can check it. They have a range of products, and you know what? It's exclusively online, so you, regardless of where in the world you are, you can order it and have it brought to you. So you don't have to be in the US or in Canada or wherever Sephora is. I think US, Canada, and Europe to be able to get it, but they're going to enter that category, the sexual wellness category, because a lot of beauty and self care now is about wellness as well. So it's not just about looking good for looking good sake. It's about feeling good about yourself too. So Sephora is going to be doing that. So check them out on their website and see if you can get anything for your Valentine's Day to make it spicy. All right. Also, in news around the world, so plastic bags and stuff have been getting a bad rap for a long time now. We saw that in the US, in the UK, lots of grocery stores have eliminated giving plastic bags, and locally, and I'm assuming regionally, Massey has eliminated giving people plastic bags in favor of people having reusable bags. While the plastic movement has impacted the beauty industry as well, with more brands looking to reduce their carbon footprint by eliminating the amount of plastic that they use. And brands are looking to get more sustainable packaging and they're looking to get more sustainable materials so that they can use it to be able to package and deliver their products. So if you are creating a beauty brand, that's something that you want to keep in mind. Sustainability is now an important part of your brand success and impact. So if you are creating a beauty brand this year, if this is the year you want to launch something, think about how the packaging could impact people and think about how you could use the packaging as a way to stand out, to be different, to differentiate yourself, and not have plastic. You know what I mean? And plastic is one of those, plastic doesn't decompose, so it will be around forever. As a matter of fact, I have been using Neutrogena Hydro Boost gel, and the container is really nice, but they put such a small amount in the Hydro Boost gel container that when it finishes, I'm like, I have to cast. It's more container than product, and I have to throw the product away, the container away all the time. And I say to myself, I wish this was actually better and it was more minimalist than this huge container, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that brands are moving towards that. And there's actually a full video on how some brands are doing this on, if you go to cosmeticsbusiness.com, they do an interview with, let me get the name correct, the sales director at Spectra Packaging. And Spectra Packaging is a UK firm. So they're actually working with cosmetics brands now to give them more sustainable, minimalist packaging so that, there's not too much plastic in the environment and everybody still gets what they want. All right. And of course, third, I want to talk to you guys and just touch a little bit on, give you a prelude to what we're going to jump into tonight's guest. My guest is backstage. We always have a fantastic guest in our green room having caviar and champagne. She's back there, just chilling, chilling. And I see her back there laughing and chuckling, talking to the other celebrities back there. And she is going to be on very soon. But before we bring her on, tonight we're going to be talking about design and how important it is to have the right design to convey the right message for your beauty brand. And an important part of that process is, of course, your brand's messaging. So, of course, I talk about messaging all the time and how messaging sets the tone for everything else in your funnel and for your marketing, right? And your messaging shows up everywhere because that is the core of what you want communicated to people. And that also sets the tone for the design. So, with that being said, I want to invite my guest on now so we can have a nice in depth conversation about design, about beauty brands, and how they can set the tone for the things you want to produce and things you want to succeed at in 2022 for your beauty business. If you've been thinking about launching a beauty brand and this is the year, you're going to want to listen to this conversation because these are some of the things that you probably would normally have to pay to get, pay an artist to sit with them for time. But tonight, our guest, Miss Maria Ransome, will be telling you all of these secrets for free right here on the Lipstick Effect. All right. So, Maria, put down that champagne, close up that caviar, and come on down. Welcome to the Lipstick Effect. Hello, Maria.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I was enjoying the champagne and caviar backstage, I must say. Very well done.
I'm glad that you were enjoying that. So, people, I always call Maria my design genie because she's always there pulling some fab design out of her design hat or whatever the case may be. Of course, Maria is the artist on board who makes sure that Personality Magazine looks crisp and looks amazing every time it's produced. So you're dealing with something like a star here, something like a star. So tonight we're going to be talking about design and how that impacts your beauty brand and how it impacts your positioning, how it impacts your communication, how it impacts your marketing, right? So Maria, okay, so for I know you, we talk all the time, right? But of course, there are some people who don't know you. So why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself and a little bit about some of the things you have done in terms of design and artistry.
Okay, well, I am a graphic designer and visual designer slash fine artist, as you said. So I'm on both sides of the spectrum, both digital and physical art. As you said, I do the layouts for Personality Magazine. I've also done quite a bit of design work for you.
Yes.
And I primarily do like social media design, social media templates, as well as brand design. So the visual for somebody's brand, which is very, very, very important.
Very important. We can't even emphasize how very, because everybody thinks they're designer these days because Canva is out there
Mm,
giving selling people dreams.
yeah, I love
Yes, we love Canva. Everybody has their place, but being on Canva doesn't make you a visual
design.
a
Yeah,
visual designer, right? It takes a lot more than just having the tool. All
yeah,
right. So yes, so Maria has been design has is behind probably 95% of the design work that has come out from JBannister Branding and anything to do with me. So certainly, she is definitely qualified to talk about anything we're talking about here tonight and to give you advice. So, so Maria, tell us a little bit about your style and your preference of design. So, like, everybody has a particular style. Tell us a little bit about your style and the process that you follow to extract the most out of a particular project or a
yeah.
process.
So it's funny that you mentioned. I feel like my personal style is actually more minimal, more simple, classy. However, when I'm designing for somebody else, it changes. I like to think of being a designer almost as being a chameleon because while you have your unique little touch, every brand and every person you work with is different, and it's important that you are designing for them and not for you. So when it comes to my process, it's a ton of research first. So you know how you call me like a design genie for you because I can just pull things out for you. It's because I took the time to learn you, learn what you like, learn what your audience likes. It's not just that, like, I'd like to think that we have some magic connection, but it's a bit more than that. It's
We do have a magic connection.
the illusion. We have a magical bond. But yeah, when I work with a client specifically for branding, and this would be, your logo, your brand colors, your fonts, your style guide, we go through a set of questions. And as you said first, it's all about getting that brand story and that brand messaging first. So I will have a chat with them, we do a little questionnaire, and it's divided into three sections. The first one is who are you and why should we care? Because you need to be clear on who you are as a brand, right? And then you want to know who your customer is. Because when you're designing, again, you're not designing for yourself, you are designing for a target audience in mind. And certain things will attract certain people, whether your brand is more on the edgy side or more on the simple, classy, refined side, whether your brand is more mature or more like teeny bopper. It all depends on, when it comes to design, it also depends on who your target customer is in mind. And then we talk about the brand feel. And this is where you'll actually take the first two sections, like the actual personality of the brand, and add a visual to it. So if you say that the brand is more high end, more simple, more elegant, the kind of fonts that you will use, the kind of design themes that you will use, even the colors that you will use will be different than if your brand is bolder and edgier. And since we're talking about fashion, you can even look at well, it's not fashion, I should say, since we're talking about beauty. You can look at the difference in brands between Chanel and Dior versus Urban Decay. There's a contrast. It's because
Yeah.
their story is different, their personality is different, their target audience is different. So all those things go into creating the perfect visuals for your brand.
Yes, and then there's certainly a difference between like the Chanel and the Dior's and the Urban Decay and I guess the Fenty Beauty. There's a difference between, and everybody has their audience. And you really have to know who you're speaking to so that you can optimize the design and optimize the design, the representation, wherever you show visually, and certainly the packaging to suit a particular audience, right? Now, just now you mentioned fashion, and I know you have some experience in the fashion space. So how much of your fashion experiences do you think informs your design process? And if you had to design a beauty brand, what do you think you would take from fashion and like implement it or apply it in the beauty space?
So it's funny actually. I feel like fashion, my education in fashion design, had a lot of big impact on my graphic design career because I first dabbled with those kind of tools in
Hmm.
fashion design diploma. That would have been the first time I touched Illustrator, the first time I touched Photoshop, the first time I would have learned about mood boards, because in fashion design it's the same thing. You would think that creatives are just creative and they come up with things out of thin air, but there is a level of research involved. And I think that that translated into the graphic design career. So it's the same process: mood board, inspiration board, who my target customer is. And if I had to design a beauty brand per se, what I would have learned, I guess the same thing. I think one of the things I appreciate most about studying fashion was they allowed you to be as creative as possible. There were no limits to what you could design, what you could not design. Of course, with a given theme in mind, there were no limits other than that. It was full creativity. And then you can refine from there. So I really got to explore and, you know, become more artistic through that design program, especially when it came to finding inspiration.
Yeah, like I remember one time, because I mean, I started that same fashion program, and I remember one time we had to do like a word association to come up with designs, and
Yeah,
I think they just gave us a color, and we had to kind of come up with all the things that we could. I think the color was green. We had to come up with all the things that we thought of were green, from leaves to fruits and this and that, and it really kind of expands your imagination when you
yeah,
take when you work in one creative industry and then you could take it and apply it to another creative industry.
yeah,
It really does help a lot. And I
yeah.
mean, beauty is very open, because I mean, people have all sorts of needs. People have all sorts of needs in this space. You know what I mean? So that is really good, right? So, all right. So let's just say, for example, I came to you with a beauty brand. So I've had this brand. I've been doing this. I had this product. Not even this brand. I had this product, and because a lot of people are like this now, and they are making these products at home, right? They're
Mhm.
making these turmeric soaps, they're making these um like body butters, and they're making all of these types of products, and they packaging them in these small glass jars, no label. They're
Mhm.
selling them over WhatsApp, they're selling them over Instagram, and it's very hard to differentiate one brand from the next,
Yeah.
right? Without I guess without purchasing and kind of testing it on your skin, you really wouldn't know. Because I mean, when I think about beauty products, right? I was in a class one time, and the person who was conducting the class said beauty products are kind of like baking a cake. They all have the same basic ingredients. You know what I mean? And that's why things like private labeling could work so well, because it's not like they're mixing something unless you have like a very special formula that you kind of formulated and you find it works well. Most beauty brands are the same thing. So the thing that separates them really is the branding. So if I
Mhm.
came to you and I have a brand that I've been stocking in glass jars and stuff, and I said I'm ready to create, I'm ready to put clothes on this, I'm ready to make it look good, dress it up, style it up, and make it memorable. Like, walk me through the process of what it would look like to get that done and work with you.
I think the first thing we would look at, now I'm assuming, so you have this thing in just clear plastic jar, well, clear glass jars. Do you at least have a logo yet? I feel like that's the first thing I would ask you.
Like,
Or
no, I went to Canva and I made a little rinky dink thing, and I've been using it because I'm telling you, this is what I saw. This is what I saw. Like, I have a cousin who's in this exact same position now. So this is what I saw, and so I want to know, what would you?
what would I
Like, first of all, what do I need to be coming? Like, what would the process be like? Yeah,
I
that's what I
think
want
it's
to know.
I would tell you.
That's what I want to educate the people on. What would the process be like?
I think first of all, there's a difference between an Instagram store. So right now, I would categorize you as an Instagram store. You are an Instagram store. There's a difference between an Instagram store and a brand, and you want to become a brand because that brand is what's going to differentiate you. That brand is what's going to make you memorable. That brand is what's going to make your product stand out. Because as you said, a lot of those things are exactly the same. It's really the packaging and maybe one little difference, a fragrance here or there that really makes um the difference. So the first thing we do is the logo. Talk about the logo. Talk about your social media presence and what that's gonna look like. So we get your visual branding on point in terms of your colors, your logo, and we'll talk a bit about what you want this product to represent. You know, what is the story behind this product? I'd probably want to know why you got into it, what made you decide to create this, what is the
Mhm.
vision of your brand, you know, how do you expect customers to feel when they use your product? Because all of those things will go into the packaging and the branding, because you're selling an experience. Design is part of a story and it's part of an experience. So yeah, the logo first. We probably, when I design, and it goes back to in fashion, how you said creativity was so expanded, I always like to give at least 2 to 3 options so we can explore different things and then we narrow down. So we'll talk about the logo, we'll talk about the colors, and then we will make sure that social media is on point, right, in terms of visuals and stuff. And then you want to make sure that that experience that you have on social media matches the packaging, because there are different touch points design wise at where a person could reach you. They could find your logo, they could find your page. If you have a physical store, they could find you there. But the packaging is that important thing. The packaging almost does the advertising for you. You could have a pretty bag or a pretty package, and somebody will be like, "Where did you get that?" Or "What is that?" Like it has to be eye catching. So once we have those colors down, we could talk about package design now. And depending on um the kind of product that it is, or the kind of brand story that you're telling. So since it's a scenario, you tell me what this imaginary product that you have made, why did you decide to make it? And you could probably tell me how do you expect the customers to feel when they use your product.
Oh my gosh.
When you
I
want
probably should ask the person something. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Well, I mean, what inspired me to make this product? Okay, so I always say if I had to make a product, it would probably be a lip product, right?
uh-huh.
It would probably be like you know how Kylie opened selling like $1 billion in lip kits, and
Yes.
she never had no lips. She put on lips to make that. I
Yeah.
didn't have to put on any lips. I can make that, right? So it would always be about just having that small standout feature on your
Um,
face,
yeah.
and I just want people to feel, complete. I want them to feel sexy. I want them to feel like glam. That's what I want them to feel when they wear my
Your lipstick.
lipstick.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a base, and certain words you said there then gives me key points to do the visuals. You said you want people to, that is going to be the standout feature on your face. So standout becomes a keyword there. You want people to feel, I normally when I talk to people, I'll pay attention to the keywords when they say how they want somebody to feel. You said they want them to feel sexy. That's another word there. You said complete. That's another word there. And I feel like you gave one more, glamorous. So those 4 words already give me some key touch points that I could then translate design wise, because a glamorous brand may not necessarily look the same as a simple, more minimal brand, or a sexy brand not look the same as a more conservative brand. So if you see where I'm going with that, we could then translate that to the kind of colors we will use, and then the kind of illustrations or visuals we will use in terms of photography and stuff like that. So that's where we will move forward from then. And because it's beauty and lipstick specifically, one thing I've noticed with beauty brands, or at least with the logos for beauty brands and fashion brands, is they tend to keep their logos very, very minimal or simple or black. They either use black or white, or black and white. And normally it's because it gives them a lot of flexibility, especially with fashion, because you always have different collections coming out. So you don't want to be tied
Yes.
to colors. You can then base the color around the collection, or the same with lipsticks, or how the makeup palettes are always so gorgeously designed, right? But the logo may look very simple. They do that so you have more flexibility with the colors when new collections are coming out. So that's what I would advise now, because you said glamorous, standout, bold. I'm already thinking of things in my head. I'm thinking of colors. I know that for the logo, for the same reason I said I may want to include black, unless you specify otherwise, there's a specific color you like. So I know you love pink, and pink stand out and is glamorous anyway, is very feminine. We could use pink. And then from there, we can then go into the packaging. And of course, personally, because I know lipsticks and beauty stuff have collections, I would then want to narrow down what is the theme for this collection per se? What is the vision for this collection? What story are you telling with this collection? Then we can go visually from there and decide how we do in this packaging. And yeah, that's what we would do. We'd pull together inspirations. I always like people to pull images because sometimes while I may be able to immediately get visuals from the words, some people
Mm-hmm.
won't be able to do that. So I'm like, okay, go on Pinterest and try and find images of what you have in mind or how you want the brand to feel, and then we work from there. And yeah,
Yeah, and you said a lot there, and I know for a fact before people can really even, because you mentioned a few things, before people can even give you answers to those questions, it's important that they work out what they're messaging. There are
yeah,
certain key things that need to happen before the visual piece, right? Which is why I always say that, and I think that is why we have that magic together, because in order for you to be able to design, people need to get clear on a few things. They need to get clear on their persona, right?
exactly.
They need to get clear on their positioning. So,
Hmm.
do you want to be seen as simple? Do you want to be seen as glam? Do you want to be seen as, like, like more accessible and easy to get? Do you want to be seen as everyday? I mean, what exactly do you want to be seen as and known as? And even what do you want to be priced as? Do you want to be known for
Exactly.
as a cheaper brand, or do you want to be like, because Urban Decay is Urban Decay. And then you have things like, BH Cosmetics, you have, and L'Oreal has its little, what do they call them, drugstore brands, but then we have things like Estee Lauder and, more expensive, more bourgeois. I think things like Kat
Yes.
Von D and all those things are more expensive,
Yes.
and that's reflected in the design. And I think it's important that, when you want to jump off the ledge of business and you want to dive deep, you have to be willing to commit and go all the way.
Mhm.
You can't just have it's a half baked process. If
Hmm.
you want,
Yes.
if you want people to really see you standing out and being different, you have to be willing to go through the process of the strategy first and
Yes.
the messaging first. And so by the time you get to the designer, you're so crystal clear, like, okay, this is how I'm visualizing this thing. You know what I mean? But I would imagine that you probably do get a lot of people who aren't clear.
I do. So I have a little quiz. Now, my quiz is not as elaborate as yours because I've seen your quiz because you do hardcore brand strategy. For design, I just need to know some key things. You have a
Yeah.
whole elaborate process. But that little quiz I give, I realize people will take 10 years to give it back because it really means it requires them to think about things that they haven't thought about before. But those
Yeah.
things are so important because you want to make sure that you are speaking to the right customer. You telling the story you want to tell. Because if you do not take control of your story, the consumers will take control of it for you, and you don't want
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
You want to have control of your story. So yeah, it requires people to think a lot, and it's important. Um, I feel like I was gonna say something else, but I don't remember. But it was
Oh, God.
yeah, it was along those lines. I think it makes people think, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that it requires them to think. Oh, I was going to say another reason strategy is so important is that communication between you and your designer. So for those of you who are watching and you decide you're not artistic at all. Like, how you have some people that are artistic, they could get away with doing their own brand. You have some people that know design is not for them, they want to hire somebody. Communication is key. If you are not clear on your brand and you go to a designer and you are unclear, most times you're going to get work that you are unhappy with and you are going to say this designer is terrible. But that's not necessarily the case. It could be you did not give them enough to work with, or you all didn't communicate properly enough, and that stage is so important. That polish is really the last stage. You have to do all the groundwork first. It's like building a house without the foundation. You need that foundation first, or putting on
Yes.
makeup since it's beauty. Well, I assume.
Yes, the foundation, when your foundation isn't laid good, you have sebum coming through, your greasy hair thing there, your eyeshadow not staying down properly, that kind of thing. It's not,
Yeah.
you didn't set it and bake it properly, as they call it, you know what I mean?
One thing you mentioned with the difference between the high end brands, as you were talking, I thought of something, or at least a trend I've noticed. You have now. I don't know if you've ever heard the term old money versus new money.
Of
So
course, of course.
it's normally a term that's used specifically in fashion. So when you look at um, wealthy people and how they dress, they always say you can tell who is old money versus new money. But I also see it in brands. If you look at the what's considered the more expensive or high-end brands, specifically the ones that have been around for a really, really long time, they go for softer, delicate colors or polished black, polished white, very, very minimal. But then you have newer beauty brands who are considered high-end, but you see them taking this bolder approach, more illustrative. And I thought that was very, very interesting. So I just wanted to highlight that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's true. And I think now people have an appreciation for being more people are okay with standing out. I think more now. I mean, there are times and occasions where you would go for the classic easy looks, you know what I mean? Things that will look good any era, anytime, any place, or whatever the case may be. But then there are brands who have built their whole persona and they stand out simply because they stand out,
It's kind of like
because
a
yeah,
factor.
exactly, and they may be extremely bright, or like a brand like Juvia's
Yes.
place, you
Yes.
know. Their brand premise is built on having highly pigmented colors,
Yes.
right? And they want to be able to have even the models they choose, everybody has like this very strong blush, and everybody has the model skin is very, very dark, so and they put yellow makeup on them, so it is designed to be extremely bright. And that really comes from the fact that the owner, I think she's from Africa, I can't remember which country she's from, and she always found that conventional makeup did not show up on her skin, so she needed highly pigmented colors to be able to show up. And that's why Juvia's is so popular among darker skinned women, because we get to see the colors and it stays, you know what I mean? So that's one thing to keep in mind. So yes, new money, old money, but all money is good money, so we'll take it all, you know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, all money is good money, so we're not going to refuse it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so there was one time I was looking at this show on YouTube, and it was about branding. I use my YouTube hours to watch branding on TV. Yes, that's what I do. And they were talking about um they were designing a packaging for a brand, and part of that included putting a QR code somewhere in the
Mhm.
design. And somehow nobody checked the QR code before it went to mass print.
Oh no.
And they printed the wrong QR code on 10,000 pieces of merchandise, right? Or 10,000 pieces of brand collateral, like maybe it's like different posters and stuff. And and that made me shudder to think. So I'm wondering, do you have any kind of part of your process where you kind of check things, especially when it comes to information like that, like email addresses, this, that. It's because it's always these small things that take us down when we I think some of these small things that take us down. So you have any process in the design space, especially to kind of check for those things?
Yeah, I kind of, well, I have had throughout my career, I've had my own faux pas with typos and things have been printed, money has been spent, and then they have to do over the entire thing. So I have learned to double check, triple check. And when it comes to certain things, for example, QR codes, or if I'm doing a website, testing is so important. You want to make
Yeah.
sure everything's working properly. And funny thing about the QR codes, actually, because I have designed stuff with QR codes before, you have to kind of be mindful of which ones you're using because for some reason some phones don't pick it up. I don't know why, but I've had this experience before where I did a design for a cafe. They wanted, those menus with the QR codes.
Yes.
Some phones just were not picking it up. Some Samsung phones were not picking it up, and we could not figure out why. Most likely it had to be with whatever style of the code I used. But yeah, I double check, triple check, and that's from my own set of mistakes. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as tens and thousands of stuff going out. But yeah, all
Yes, it was like crazy. The amount of money spent in printing now is kind of crazy, you know what I mean? So
test
yeah.
before you put out, and even feel free to do what you call this, like control testing in a sense, like get a control group and see how people respond to the packaging, see how people respond to the designs, the brands, so you get an idea of if you're on the right track or not. Like I would never say no to research and testing. I think that's very important.
Yes, yes, yes. So I just want to take a minute and acknowledge the people who are viewing. If you are here, drop some lipstick emojis. You know, is the lipstick effect. Let us know you are there, painting our wall with some lipstick. Say hello. We are looking forward to your comments and your questions, lipstick community. If you are watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay and let us know you are here. And let us know, do you have a beauty brand? Do you know someone who's going to launch brand of their own brand of lipstick, their own brand of skincare, their own brand of hair care, their own brand of, something, beard oil. It is a valuable. Oh, so here we have it's Valine dropping some lipsticks for us tonight. Hi, Valine. I saw your live today, by the way, Valine. Very good. It was really cool.
I
And
remember Summit.
yes, Valine. I have something very special planned for you, Valine. I can't wait to talk to you on Thursday. Right? And so yeah, so if you're here, drop your questions for sure. Any any questions around design, we will be taking them. Even if you don't have a beauty brand to launch right away, you're just thinking about it. Now would be a good time to ask the questions, all right? All right. So, all right, Maria, right? So Valine is saying thanks, loving today's episode. Thanks, Valine. We having fun, you know what I mean? We having. I like design too, because that was when my eyes open up and I could be there. I was like, oh my god, wow, this is so nice. Everybody likes the final, likes the final product, right? But the real magic happens when you sit and do the work behind the scenes, and and when you're asking the questions, you can't hit them. You can't hit them on notebook and say, "I don't know. I don't know." You have to know. You have to know what you want. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
Ramona
think
is sending some pictures for us. Hi, Ramona, Sylvie. Thank you so much for
it's, I'm
your
I read
kisses.
yeah.
We appreciate Ramona is actually somebody who I got trained in makeup artistry with. She and I have known each other for a long time. But she's very good. She's way better in makeup artistry than I am. So, she's really, really good. All right. All right. Okay, cool. So, all right, Maria. So, what would you say if I have to hire designers? Let's say somebody wants to hire you. What are the top three things a beauty business owner should have prepared already before they come to you to create packaging, and which of them do you see people like leave out the most? They don't have prepared at all.
Okay, so this is strictly on packaging, not the whole brand
No,
identity.
general design, packaging, general design, yeah, general design.
Okay. Well, if you're talking general design, the top three things I would expect them to have is at least their brand vision and mission statement. You must have a brand vision and mission statement prepared. That's something that you should have first before even thinking about design. What else would I say I want them to have prepared? It's always nice when they come with brands that they like, just so I can get an idea of the design style, get an idea of what they like, or competitors. I think that's always nice because it gives me more of something to work with. And what's the
Mhm.
other thing I would say that I'd want them to come prepared with? I feel like this one was really, really, really cheesy, but I'll say like a good attitude because we're gonna have lots of conversations. I need somebody who is able to um, openly communicate, be part of the process, be part of the conversation because it is a lot of back and forth. It's not like you hand everything over to me and I don't see you until the end of the process. It is a relationship,
Yeah.
and actually now we spoke about what I would want from them, but what they should want from me or as a designer is definitely you should be checking out my work, see if it resonates with you because it is a bit of a relationship. Not every designer may be right for you. Some designers have niches, and you want to make sure you pick a designer who's going to do your brand justice. But yeah, I would say the vision and mission statement. Even better if you have the core strategy already. Not everybody does, but if you have that core messages and strategy first, that's a big help for me. I would say that. I would say have a list of your competitors or brands you admire. And then I would say come with a positive attitude, be ready to talk a lot, communicate a lot, and spend a lot of time together.
A lot of time it's like you will be dating, or not even this brand thing is really like courtship. It really is like courtship because you spend a lot of time getting to know the person, and that helps you understand. Sometimes that helps you figure out what they're trying to say too, because some people may not be able to express things clearly.
Exactly.
When you get to know them as an individual, as a person, and you get a sense of what their vision is, and you get a sense of what the mission is for this brand, you are able to is this what you're trying to say? And sometimes you're like, yes, that's exactly what I mean. So
Yes,
that time spending together is critical. That's mission critical, to be honest. You know
it
what I
is.
mean?
And
So
actually, in spending time with them, I've learned to refine my process because it may be that my quiz questions aren't clear enough. For me, it may be clear as a designer, but for them, they may need more examples or they may need me to rephrase the question differently. So in talking to them, I could understand, okay, you didn't answer this. Why? Is it that you didn't understand? Let me rephrase it this way. Do you get it now? And it's like, yeah, I do. I can answer this now. So
yeah,
yeah.
all right. Yeah, and that's true, right? So before we talked a little bit about packaging, and so I want to know, in what ways do you think brands could really differentiate themselves with in packaging? What are some ways they could create experiences with packaging? And I also want to know, do you have any favorite examples that you have seen around? Anything that kind of struck you, stood out to you?
Okay. Well, in terms of creating an experience with packaging, I was actually going to say, what should they do with packaging? It is create an experience. I think one of the things I hate seeing is a brand that's, I was about to say bad and bougie, but all big on social media. They have their website, they have their, like, now there's two types of packaging. You have the outer packaging, like the box that comes in to actually protect the product, or the
Yes.
bag that comes in to protect the product, and then you have the actual product itself. I don't like seeing when your brand is preaching luxury, high end from every aspect except the packaging. I expect the same experience throughout because one thing I noticed is beautifully designed packaging. People post it up on social media. People are excited to get it. As a kid growing up, I was obsessed with packaging actually. I was the kind of person that will hold on to the boxes and the tags that came on the back of clothing. Once it was like really nicely designed, I would hold on to that. I had a box of them. So I would say pay attention to that. Make sure that packaging is consistent with your brand story, with the experience. And that may mean maybe it's going to be very illustrative and very visual, right? You want something that's appealing to the eye, something that's going to stand out of the shelves because this is the one industry, I'd say design is the one industry where you do judge a book by its cover before the
Yes,
paint
of
and
course.
anything
We all
else.
do. Mhm.
Yeah, you are judging the packaging, and anybody who says otherwise is lying.
Yeah.
You are motivated by good packaging. So I would say, yeah, decide first of all, decide if you're going to be very, very artistic and illustrative. It could be that the packaging, the outer packaging that is very photo heavy. So you're using very nice photography in alignment with your brand, and then you have your nice label, or you're going very illustrative, so nice illustrations, or maybe minimal. And what minimal brands tend to do is instead of focusing on the illustrations and the photography, they may have a nice typography, which is the font. It'll be very
Mhm.
nice packaging, but that font is going to stand out. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say. What else can I say? I think in terms of creating a user experience, you see how you were talking about the QR codes. I like
Yeah.
when brands include the customer in the experience or in the packaging, meaning that they give the customer something to do, whether it's a QR code to go to the website or whether it's take a picture of this and share it with us. I like when packaging has that little social media aspect. So it allows your brand to be shared much more actually. You create an experience, you create a community through the packaging that way. What else I could say for creating an experience, boy? I like now this would be inside the packaging. So I would have said that we have the outer, the product. I like when brands have little thank you cards or thank you notes and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are nice. Yes. I
Feel
feel
nice.
like it really is personalized. Like, thanks for shopping. We hope you enjoy. Like, I remember when I used to buy, well, I haven't bought shoes from them in a while, but buying shoes from DSW, I would always get a card and it says, "Dear shoe lover, Thank you so much for purchase. We hope you enjoy this, that. And I'm like, oh my God, I am a shoe lover. I love this.
Yeah,
So,
it's yeah.
yeah.
Personalizing the experience is a thing now. It's going to become even more popular. People like to feel unique and they like to feel special. So don't discredit that. Always find a way to make them feel like part of the experience, like part of the brand.
Yes.
Um,
And you don't have to skimp on that experience either, you know?
exactly. I think
So,
people,
Ramona is saying, yes, I agree. I'm not sure which part she agrees with, maybe all of it. But she's saying, yes, I agree. Yes, we agree that you agree. Thanks, Ramona. Yeah, but that packaging and that's true. Sometimes I've kept things that I found this was pretty. You find the box is pretty, and you find the bag was pretty, and you're like, wow, this is so nice. And you just reuse it. Like some people, I've seen people reuse like those fancy bags with the little rope as the handle, and you see people reuse those bags over and over and over again because there's something very upscale about those bags. There's something very luxury about those bags, and it
yeah,
really makes a difference. So that packaging really is important, y'all.
it's important. And some brands, you asked me about brands that I like, whose
Mhm.
packaging I like. I like a lot of the makeup brands actually, because for the same reason, I love how it's always bold and beautiful and very vibrant. So I think packaging that I like you mentioned, I think it's Juvia's. Is it
Yes,
Juvia's?
oh,
Yeah,
yes,
I
yeah.
have one of them. Like a lot of the makeup I get are gifts because ashamed to say I don't wear that much, but when I do, I appreciate a lot for the packaging. I think I have a Huda Beauty palette that I am in love with.
Yes.
Packaging. I like anything Fenty Beauty does. I'm not gonna lie. I like to big up Riri. Um, locally, I love Cedrus Bay. I love
Yes,
Immortal Beauty, and I know you had her on. I think a few weeks ago.
yes, I
Um,
had Catherine. Catherine was on, yes.
yeah. And I like when brands, and it goes in with the sustainability thing. I love when brands give other ways to use their products when you're finished with it. So, for example, I feel like I've seen Immortal Beauty do it, but I've also seen other candle brands do it where they give you ideas for repurposing their product because you do not want to throw away after the
Such
candle
nice packaging. Yes.
packaging and it's glass that could easily be reused. So I love when companies take the initiative to say, this is how you can reuse this. I think that's something more brands should hop on once it is packaging that can be reused. With Cedrus Bay, I love them because it's beautifully designed and it goes back to the whole aesthetic and their whole brand story. You do get a based on the colors they use and the design that they use is very natural, very, very, carefree, relaxed, which is the vibe that they are going for. But I also like that brand specifically, everything from the product to the packaging is about clean beauty, is about being recyclable. And I like things like that.
Yeah, they really do embody that. It's very Caribbean. It's very relaxed, beachy, very, coconutty. Because, they have a big story with coconuts, that's their main story.
And you can
So,
see that in their design as well. They did an excellent job telling their brand story.
yeah, so I mean, I have somebody here who's Rachel. Rachel came on, but I'm not sure what Rachel said. Rachel, your comment is missing, but thank you for commenting all the way, all the same. And maybe you could write your comment again so we could see it, right? So thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and shout out to everybody who is on watching right now. Don't forget to drop your lipsticks in the comments. Drop your questions as well. If you have a beauty brand, you're thinking about launching one, you're thinking about reviving one that really is kind of dead, and you need to get it looking and sounding good so that people are like, I like that. I want to buy that. This is definitely the episode for you. You're in the right place tonight with this episode of the lipstick effect. Right? Okay, so let me ask you, do you think Rachel is saying you're welcome? You're no problem, Rachel. Right? So do you think packaging dictates design, or do you think design dictates packaging? Or do you think it's a weird codependent relationship?
Interesting. If packaging dictates design. When you say packaging, do you mean the functional aspect of packaging?
I don't know. You're the expert here in that regard. I just give you the message and tell you what to say.
Well, I feel like it's a mix of both then, because unlike most design where it's two-dimensional, packaging is quite 3D. So certain things may work better for certain types of packaging, and you have to take that into consideration when
Mhm.
you are designing. So I feel like it's quite intertwined. No two takes reign over the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could design something really, really nice, but then may not fit for it may not really work for the shape of the packaging or the size of the packaging that you have in mind for that product, especially because with all that pretty illustrations and stuff, you still have to have your logo on there and all the important information, because it will have key things on the packaging that customers will easily need to read. So yeah,
Yes.
I feel like it's both. And on that note, actually, information is very, very important for packaging. Besides being pretty and stuff, make sure you have the key information. And with the trend of clean and sustainable beauty, once your product is vegan, throw that on there. If it's cruelty free, throw that on there. You know, if it's recyclable, throw it on there. Just like I have seen packaging really take advantage of this, not necessarily with beauty, but with food, where things that everybody knows are gluten free, because there's a whole gluten free hype now, they are intentionally putting gluten free on it just because
Yes.
you go,
Yes.
oh, gluten free. So to keep that in mind when it comes to information, as well as locally made or Caribbean made. Yeah.
Yeah, all those things are important, and they're really helpful, you know what I mean? And even some places now, like cruelty free is becoming, okay, testing on animals, sorry, is becoming illegal in some places, like in the States, you know, a few states made it illegal. So soon that may not even be a thing to differentiate yourself, because you're going to have to abide by it. And so, but you know, every day something else is coming up, some new trend, some new thing. You know, soon enough we might have tags that say biodegradable or
Yeah.
sustainable brand, or something like that, because those things are becoming more and more important to the consumer now. You know, people want to know that. You know, and I like the point that you make about having information and having labels on your brand, having the labels carry critical information, and
Mhm.
critical information like ingredients of the product, you
Yeah.
know, the measurements that they are in. That's required information. As a
Yes.
matter of fact, if any cosmetic chemist is looking at this tonight, I want you all, I've been trying without success to get a cosmetic chemist on this show, because I think with the amount of people making beauty brands now, especially people making beauty brands at home, you know, looking at YouTube, seeing people mixing stuff and they're testing, experimenting, and then somebody will try it and say, "Oh my God, my skin cleared up." Boom! All of a sudden, you have something there that you want to sell, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So packaging is great to look good and to be functional and to be great for decorative, but you
See,
can't forget the functional
and the information.
and the
That's
information
really
parts of
important.
it.
I did an energy company, so similar to makeup brands where you have the formulas and stuff. They had a formula for a specific product. It was a cleaning agent, and one of the things that was stressed with the importance was having the ingredients. It was so important to list all the ingredients on that packaging, especially because they used some ingredients. It wasn't toxic, but I think important things you were supposed to mention, like alcohols and stuff like that. And they stressed the importance of that and how it must not be left out. And then me as a designer had to figure out how to make it fit with everything else that must go on the packaging. That's why some brands, have you ever looked at, a lot of skincare brands do it actually, where like say Olay, I could say Olay specifically because I use them a lot. You know the peel away packaging where
Yes,
they have, yeah, that's a little getaway with that. You put the kind of important stuff like the expiration dates and the tralala, and then when you want to see a more broken down detail of all the important things, you just peel back and you see
yes.
the rest of the information, because legally it's important that that information is there.
It's on the package, yeah. So you
Yeah.
definitely want to be following the laws and following the regulations, especially if you're producing your product for export to show up in markets like the US, UK, and Canada. You need to have those things on the packaging, and make sure that your designer includes it as part of the design,
Mhm.
because you can't just come after the fact and just slap it on. It needs to be integrated properly.
I
You
just thought of
know?
that legally and export. I see a lot of local beauty brands doing this. More so salons though, and hair brands, where they steal images of like they take images of like Beyonce and all of these celebrities and put it on their salon banner. And guys,
Mm,
stop that please. You get
yes,
here because you are in Trinidad, but the minute you try that in the States, you're gonna get sued. You're gonna get a lawsuit. And Jamila, you have been in a similar situation with the name and your trademark. So you know.
Yes. So yeah, so and let me tell you something. When you're establishing a beauty brand, so like I'm in a group for beauty entrepreneurs, and part of the process of establishing a brand is doing that search, doing that trademark search, and ensuring that nobody else has that name. Retaining an attorney, letting them do that search for you. And one of the first things an attorney would advise you to do, because I've met with one of the greatest, Mr. Marlon Hill, on this, and one of the first things I was advised to do is to lock up the brand entirely, lock up every domain, lock up every name on social media. You have to lock it up completely, right? And once you're able to do that, one, you'll know nobody else is using the name. So you actually start the process of blocking that off for yourself. But before you're able to succeed with a trademark, you need to be able to have that completely locked down, which is why it's so important to scan the environment, make sure that nobody else has your name, because your name is an essential part of your design. Make sure nobody else has whatever else that you're doing, that you're not plagiarizing or stealing. And it may not be intentional. Sometimes it just happens to happen that way. But before you even get to a designer, you need to take care of those things, ensure that that is um cleared, and that you have certain things taken care of, right?
Yeah.
So all right, Maria, so let's pause for a quarter and let's play a small game, right? In this game, I'm going to show you a few pictures, and you're going to tell me whether you think these brands are targeted towards men or women. All
Men only
right,
go.
because of course packaging is really important depending on the audience that you want to reach.
Mhm.
you know I like pink. Women like pink. They're feminine, and because
Yeah.
men most times are very
Yeah.
unbothered by most things, right?
Yeah. Men go for darker colors actually. So like say blue, men will get more like a navy blue, while women will get a pastel blue.
Right, so let's go. So the
Yeah.
first one.
Mad hippie, advanced skincare. Ah, I feel like, dang it, I'm gonna go woman only because of the hearts and the little floral motifs, but it could be gender neutral. It also giving me a gender neutral kind of vibe. What is it, male or female?
I think it's female, but I'm seeing this as gender neutral as well, to be
This
honest.
is giving me gender
Yeah.
neutral vibes because the heart and floral gives female, but because it's hippie, that's also why they could have used the heart and floral and they chose to go with yellow, which is more gender neutral. I wonder.
To be very honest, it's so hard to deal with. It's so difficult to identify. It's so difficult. I don't know how gender neutral brands really target the market, because it's very difficult, because it makes it so broad. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I mean, I guess they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it
But
depends on like the colors and if they made it, it will depend on the colors and the fonts that they use that will be able to like decide if it's gender neutral or not. Anyway,
yes.
next
All right, so moving on. Let's go for the next one. Which one? And you guys, if you're in the comments and you want to participate in the game, drop it in the comments what you think. Is this targeted towards men or is this targeted towards women? So I'm gonna move on to the next one.
I'm gonna oh god. I feel like it's men. I feel like it's men, but it could also be I feel like I'm overthinking this. I think it's men. Am I
Is
right?
that your final answer?
No, I don't know. I think so.
Is that your final answer?
You know, now you have me thinking it's women. Like I feel like men, but I'll tell you why it could be women as well after. Is it men or women?
Okay, so we have Rachel in the comments who is also saying men. And the correct answer is dun, 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 yes, it is men. It is targeted towards men. It's a styling pomade for, I guess, for guys'
Okay.
hair,
Yeah.
right?
My key indicator for men would have been deep brown.
Yes, very deep brown.
Women, I was torn between men and women only because of the very intricate detailed design. I've seen that on some feminine brands before, like all patterns and stuff. But anyway, continue. Let's go.
Yes. All right. So number 3 in the comments, guys, drop what you think. Who this is for.
Women. Well,
Okay, so you're saying women.
women. I think that font in the middle
Uh,
is very, very feminine. Women.
so the font in the middle is very feminine.
Yeah.
And anybody in the comments? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Rachel is saying women. So Rachel is agreeing with you, Maria. And dun, 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 you are correct. It is women. It is women. Yes, this is very feminine. The font in the middle
Yeah,
and
even if
the
motifs are feminine, but it could have still been gender neutral if because those motifs get away if it's a care easy brand like CC Dress Bay, but that font in the middle, I was like, yeah, woman.
and see, just to me is very girly.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
it is. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
How about this one?
Hmm. This could go either way. I am know your skin. This has given me gender neutral vibes, but I'm gonna say masculine.
Let me see anybody in the comments. Anybody? Rachel, you have anything to say? Rachel is saying women.
I'm getting gender neutral vibes from this.
You're just saying women, you're saying gender neutral.
Yeah.
And the correct answer is dun, 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 it's for women. It's for women. So Rachel, you're correct. Let me show your comments. Wait. So
Congratulations.
this one is a he said congratulations. This one is a woman. This one is a woman. All right. All right. So let's move on. So the last one we have here now. Oh gosh, this should be easy.
Man, they didn't even try with the visuals. They were just like title, important information. That's men.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if Rachel has any answer. She's there or not, you know. So so Ramona is saying that this is for men,
Yeah. But
right? For men.
something. I feel like part of why branding for men, at least in the beauty industry, is kind of tricky, is because in beauty specifically, there are different types of men and they respond to different things, if I'm making sense. Like,
And like there are more feminine men and they're
yeah,
more masculine men.
feminine men and masculine men. So certain men will go for certain products.
Yeah, but some feminine men just use feminine products, you know.
Yeah, and
So
that is true.
Rachel is saying woman and Ramon saying man. You saying man. The answer, of course, is men. But
And yeah,
I found it was very funny because some men do have volcanic ash on their body, on their elbows and on their knees, and their skin is like volcanic ash. When I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so funny because some men really do have volcanic ash. You know, it just be gray and just be like ashy. You know, it just be like ashy. And I mean, this font is just so that's like straight to the point. Even
masculine.
the cover
Yeah,
looks like a medicinal cover. It's not even like they don't even care.
it's very
You know,
masculine. Font was very, very bold, and there was no care for any kind of visual. So that's men immediately. Because when men are buying products, they just depending on the man, they just care about what's important. They don't care about
yeah.
the
So that's it to feel clean and look good. They're not trying to be like
Rachel
skincare.
said she loves the
Even
game.
though I would say the men who put emphasis on their skincare routine, you see it in their skin and they do look
Exactly.
good.
They care more. Yeah. You have, as I said, you have two types of men. Rachel, I love the game too. This was really fun, to be honest.
Yes, we should have said I love this game. Okay, yeah. I just came up with that game. Yeah, so that was fun. So now we know we can easily identify branding and able to we could see what makes things stand out. So a few weeks ago we even spoke to Juma about design and we spoke to him about a few elements in photography and design that could help you with having your picture stand out. So the fonts and the colors and the contrast and all those things just make you feel and look really nice. And that's something to think, you know.
Yeah.
So Rachel is saying, love the live. Thank you, Rachel. Woohoo! We love that you are here and dropping the vibes. Drop some lipsticks. You know the city lipstick effect, and we love the lipstick community. And Ramona is saying, great game. Thanks, Ramona. Thanks for playing. We had fun. All right. So, Maria, I just have a couple more questions for you because you know we have come close to the end of the show. So, I just want to ask you. Let me see. You know, I have to have my question here. Um. So, do you have any favorite brands that stand out for you for their design?
Hmm. Brands that stand out for their design. I mean, I do, but it would not. It wouldn't be beauty per se.
Yeah.
I think. Let me see if I could think of any beauty wise first. There is one that I do like. If I could just remember the name of it, they sell it at Wonderful World. It's more of a one of those little drugstore brands, but it's very, very Asian inspired. It's so everything is Asian, and it's all these beautiful bright colors like teal and pink. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't.
I don't know
But
the name either.
yeah, I just and that, you see what that is? That is good design right there. I can see what the packaging looks like in my head, but I cannot remember the name. And that is what good design does. Even if you don't remember the name, you will remember what it looks like, what the colors, similar to Coke and red. Okay, I got distracted. But if we're talking non-design, I've always loved anything that Apple does. I like the clean, minimal kind of aesthetic. What brand do I really, really, really like? I like Blogilates. So I don't know if she really counts as beauty. She's more fitness.
Who?
So she,
Pilates?
yeah, so she's a Pilates instructor, but she has her own clothing line. She has all her own products. Oh, Rachel says she doesn't want the light to stop. That's sweet.
Rachel, we
Yeah,
are on every Tuesday at 7. We always talking beauty, cosmetics, hair, skin. And we have lots of good people on. So in the next few weeks, you're going to see lots of people talking about different things. But it always is about self-care, beauty, and brands and looking and feeling good. So don't worry, come back every Tuesday and you will see another episode, or check my YouTube channel, Jamila Bannister. We have all the past episodes you could go back and watch. Trust me.
yeah,
So we got it, baby. We got you, baby. We got you. Right.
yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Maria.
Pilates is super pretty. She's very, very feminine. That's her thing. She's feminine, she's girly, she's hyper, she's bubbly. And you can see that in her packaging, and I absolutely adore it. That's one of the brands that I actually one of the boxes I literally, it was so pretty I didn't want to throw it away. I literally cut it out, the stuff I liked, and put it aside to see how I could use it
Yeah.
some other, and even her yoga mats. So she designs a collection of yoga mats, and it's not basic. Every yoga mat is like a canvas, and it's like themed either galaxy or really, really, really beautiful. What other brands do I
That's
like?
good
I feel
packaging. That's good packaging and design right there.
excellent packaging and design. Let me tell you, she has made everything an experience. And what I like about her is it not only is it pretty, but it's functional. So it works. She, especially with her workout wear, she takes into consideration, and this is what people should think about when they're doing their packaging. Think about how you're making this easy for the consumer. So what she does is she has designed things that you can use to work out in and go somewhere else straight after it. So she has workout skirts, or she has bras with pockets for your phone, or pants with pockets for your phone. And I like design that is functional and both beautiful.
Yeah.
So does Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Fun fact about him: before he started designing computers, and I think that's why I love Apple so much, because it's so beautiful. He studied calligraphy and he studied design. And he has the same kind of mindset and philosophy. Great design is functional. And I hope I'm saying that word right. I feel like I am, but it sounds wrong.
Functional. Very functional.
Functional. I've been saying functional this entire time, guys. I promise I went to school. I promise. Great brands are functional and beautiful at the same time. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I feel like there is so much more, but I like off the top of my head, I can't think about it. I like
Well,
Douglas Web.
we'll take those. We'll take those. We'll take those, right? So
I'm so sorry.
let's talk about Steve Jobs. There he shows up, Ghost of Steve Jobs. So all right, so as we bring things to a close, if you could you tell us what do you see to be trends moving forward for design? And because I know there's a lot of talk around zero waste packaging and minimalist packaging. So
Yeah.
if you had to predict what some innovations will be, design wise and packaging wise for the beauty industry, what do you think that could look like in the next few years?
Next 3 years. Well, I know that when it comes to certain, I'll talk about, well, you
Hmm.
said beauty, not really fashion. When it comes to fashion specifically, I've noticed, especially when you are ordering, because e-commerce is so big right now, and they've had to change how packaging is, especially because a lot of people are ordering online and getting things in their home. They have gotten rid of a lot of the bulk of packaging and have gone for sleek envelopes instead. So a lot of stuff are designed in these nice, clean, sleek envelopes, and they tend to be well, I don't want to say reusable, recyclable and biodegradable, and that's also going to be a trend. You're going to see more um brands opting for reusable packaging, whether it's glass or more environmentally friendly packaging like paper, cardboard, once the product allows for that, obviously. And when it comes to plastic, biodegradable or again recyclable. In terms of design, as we spoke about earlier, you're going to see an increase in enhancing the user experience. So
Mhm.
I kind of expect to see more artistry in packaging. And I think packaging has come a long way, actually. If you look at years ago to where we are now, it's come a long way. And I think it's just going to constantly evolve from there. And again, depending on where your brand falls on the spectrum, it's either going to be very, very artistic and illustrative, almost like a something that you won't want to throw away, something that you want to keep, like the package is art itself, or you're gonna go really, really minimal because minimal is associated with futuristic, and
Mm.
kind of pay attention to the font instead. What can I say about packaging? What I love actually, I see a lot of brands getting. I want to see creative with their packaging, meaning the packaging serves different purposes. Now, I feel like I've seen this in not necessarily the beauty industry, but maybe the beauty industry can borrow from it, where that box that you have may have a little, say it's a food brand, the box may have a little pop out thing that forms into a spoon or a,
Ah,
yeah, so the packaging almost serves another purpose. And I think that's
yes.
the industry
What
could
could, what could that be? You know what that could what could be like that? Something like that could work in the sense of like say if you have products and you want to give people like spatulas that they could use because well this is beauty in particular, right? So if it
yeah,
is you want to give people because you know what a lot of people put product on their hand to use. They put
yeah,
foundation on their hand, they put
and that is true. Yeah.
pomade and edge control on their hand. If a part of the product could simply be used to store product temporarily while you use it, so you don't have to put it on your body, I think that might be very good if people could come up with some sort of packaging that helps with that. Because
Yeah.
right now I see them they're selling wristbands that people put product on to
On there.
use, but
Yeah.
if that came with the packaging
Yeah,
and the
the most
packaging was probably wearable, that would help.
Yeah, like look for problems that packaging can solve. You can't go wrong there. Like it will become something that people will want to talk about. They'll be like, look what this brand is doing, look how cool this is. And yeah,
Yes.
I feel those are the trends. I definitely see, as we said, packaging is no longer that thing to just protect the product. Packaging is part of the brand experience.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, Maria, I think you gave us a really comprehensive look at design and packaging. And for all the people in the comments, Rachel, Ramona, Varlene, and anybody else who is here watching or who was here before, thanks for showing up. Share this live broadcast with somebody who may be interested in it and who is in the beauty industry and looking to get their product, their package, their business. Maybe they own a hair salon, maybe they own a makeup studio, and they want to really stand out and they want to do so with design so that they can really look different because everybody is kind of looking the same makeup brush, the same thing. You can really create a brand that is different, a brand that says different things, that speaks to the consumer different and shows up visually to the consumer differently. And you want to be able to do that to stand out, right? So Maria, tell the people where they can find you if they want to get in touch with you. um if you want to do something that's design, where can they find you?
I would say LinkedIn at Maria Ransom and Instagram at the Maria Naomi.
So yeah,
THE.
so I have the Instagram here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her Instagram. So you guys could save it and follow her on the grams, right? And on LinkedIn, she is Maria Ransom. So I could put that in here, right?
Website is loading.
Website is loading. Yes, it is. Website is loading, so that will be there soon. So LinkedIn, Maria Ransom, look for her, connect with her. And of course, if you would like to connect with me, you can also follow me on Instagram at Jamila Bannister. And follow me on Rachel said, I'm so sad this live is stopping. It's gonna be back
I
next week,
told
Rachel.
you. All
Rachel, are
right.
you gonna join us? Are you gonna join us? I'll be back
Rachel,
next week. Don't worry. Just follow. You can follow me on Instagram. I also go live on a Monday now over on Instagram talking beauty and branding with Tisha Lloyd across there. And we come here live on Tuesday. We on Facebook and we on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And if you go to my website, take my quiz, see where you're at, you can join my mailing list. And also visit personalitymagazine.com. You can read up. I don't have it here. Oh my God. Visit
Yeah.
personalitymagazine.com. This is where we have advice,
Mhm.
branding advice, and soon I'm
It's
very
gonna
excited. The
be
next issue
tailored.
of, huh?
No, I was gonna say soon it's gonna be very tailored to beauty.
Yes. So in the next issue of, if you're a beauty business owner, the next issue we will be bringing out an issue of the magazine that focuses specifically on working with beauty brands and how beauty brands could grow and improve. And you definitely want to get at, if it is you do want to be a part of the mailing list, sign up on personalitymagazine.com. And I'm even thinking about starting a WhatsApp group to just send the magazine in your on your phone so you can just read it on your phone. You know what I mean? So that might be a way for you to be able to get it as well. So check me over there if you want to be able to have that, right? So, oh,
Thank
okay. Good night, ladies. This is my 8-year-old who seems to be very interested in branding and business. Sorry about the call. Don't be sorry, Rachel. We had fun with your 8-year-old.
I love that he or she is learning very early in the game. Like good to go.
Okay. Yeah, so guys, if you watch this live broadcast on the replay, put replay in the comments. And of course, messaging is the messaging is the juice and the spice in your brand. If you don't know what to say, and if you don't know how to say it, you're just going to have empty emails, a blank website, and you're not going to be saying anything. You're going to be silent, right? So if you want to move from boring to engaging with messaging and of course design, you see who's behind the design, and with content, feel free to reach out to me, JBannisterBranding.com, book a discovery call. Let's talk about how we could take your beauty brand from boring to engaging with brand strategy and brand messaging. All right, so thanks again for logging on to the Lipstick Effect for another week. And I look forward to having you here, right here for another episode of the Lipstick Effect every Tuesday at 7 p.m. AST. Until next week, have a good one. Bye.